2595 Cornwall Drive. I believe this is still Northbrook, but Cincinnati, Ohio. Doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Now, there's been one pass. I'm just here to do kind of a re-inspection and find out. I don't know if they went all the way out to the main or if they were just unable to. There was a blockage, but as you can see, we're going through this cast iron going down through the floor. You have the PVC clean out in the stack. This is the one basically in the center rear of the basement. I have put a small standoff on the camera here to try to center it in the pipe a little bit. So this is cast iron. It should be cast iron until it exits the building. So there is some pretty hefty buildup here. Cast iron is kind of hard to tell because it looks like there's a buildup. I don't know how long the house has been sitting empty, but it probably would be a good idea to have this cleaned out. You do have to be a little more gentle with this, just to be sure that you're not, you never have any idea of how long cast iron can last, because you don't know how thin the walls are. Since it does rust, you could still have 3/4 of the thickness, or it could be getting thin in spots. But stuff inside there, as you can see, that buildup looks like there's been some stuff that's gone through it, but it could be from sitting empty. So we'll run some water on the way back and just kind of get a look at it. It's probably functioning okay, or maybe functioning okay, but we'll try to check that and see if there's any kind of buildup. I didn't see any solids other than the buildup of the actual debris coming from the pipe itself. So, and then as we exit the house, we are in concrete. So there is a decent belly here. Now the camera is up a little bit, but it's probably about an inch off the bottom of the pipe, and this is 6-inch pipe. So a big concern with these bellies is whether or not it's holding a bunch of solids, because in a lot of these cases it can overtake the belly fairly easy, just as long as you're only using toilet paper and not using any paper towels or wet wipes. Those things obviously can cause a bigger issue. Because it looks like I'm staying at the top of the water. You can see the top of the water, but this is at least a medium-sized belly. It's not the entire size of the pipe, which would be obviously extreme and a definitive problem. The line just looks really flat. So we may be able, as we come back, we may be able to, actually what we will do is we'll mark probably from about here, which is about 60 feet, 58 feet on the, or 59 feet on the bottom left-hand corner, which is just the footage counter. It's not the most accurate thing. It's based off of the rotation of the drum that holds the camera, so it's not, you couldn't take an exact measurement off the stack, but I have the ability to, there's a transmitter on the camera, and so I will locate that exact spot. But we're going to check the rest of this line here. We're going to see what kind of shape it's in. Usually concrete is pretty good about not holding, it's usually a little better than a lot of the other materials that are used around this time, mainly clay. They're short sections, but they tend to, concrete always, the way that they joined them tended to be a lot better to keep the roots out. course, as soon as I say that, we may have a little bit here. Okay, so we've made it all the way to the main. See it opening up into the main. So, what I'm going to do here is, because I believe that that section of that belly, it is kind of a medium belly. It did look like that section, a couple section of pipes has dropped. It was flat, and so it's not. It's kind of strange. I mean, I would get an opinion on what a licensed plumber would do, or maybe even get a quote. It seems to be right as it exits the house, which is fairly normal. I think it tends to drop a little bit. But what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to go out. I only got a little bit of water on the front of the camera. We want to try to clear that up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push back out to the main. We'll start there, and then I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to turn some water on, and then let it get down to that point, and then we will pull back. And then, like I said, I'll mark it at about 60 feet, 59 feet, which was approximately where the belly ended. And then we will also mark it at the beginning of that belly, which would be right at the foundation, the beginning of the concrete pipe. So I'm going to pause the video for a second and start some water. it out here yet. So there is some water making it out, and it's obviously all the way out the main still. So we're going to pull back and we're going to take a look at this with the water flowing and see how well everything's moving. Should be coming back up to that spot there where it dropped into the belly. And then what I'm going to do here, right about this section right in here, maybe the next section. These sections are about 3 feet with this concrete pipe. You can see this was about the end of that belly. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause the video again. You can see the stuff flowing out past the camera. So the stuff is moving. Like I said, it's hard to tell because there hasn't been a whole lot of solids. I didn't see any solids in the belly, but in some cases, the main thing is with these kind of pipes, I mean, even with brand new stuff, you don't want to use wet wipes or paper towels or any of those things, because if you do, they can catch on things whether there's a belly or not. But if there is a belly like this, it can make it a lot worse because they don't break down. Toilet paper breaks down easily. That's how it's designed, so that it basically disintegrates after it's been in the water for a little bit. The wet wipes don't, so it's easier for that to catch on something, or if it sits still, things catch on it and it backs up. I'm going to go locate, I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to locate this exact spot so that we can see where it is with the depth and everything, and I will make note of it, but I also will put a green flag and paint in the spot outside where this where the end of the belly is, and then once again when I pull back to the beginning of it. Okay, so that has been located. You can see the ripples across the screen. That's just the interference from the transmitter that I'm able to, so that I'm able to locate the camera. And it's 8'8" to the invert, which is the inside bottom of the pipe, basically where the camera is laying. And then what I want to do actually is I want to turn this water off at this point, because we've been, it's been free flowing for a while. But to locate this, I want to get a better idea of how big this belly is, so I'm going to turn the water off and let it kind of drain down a minute. So what we're looking for is we want to try to make sure, how big, because this is, this is kind of a borderline situation. If the belly was really any less than this, I wouldn't be concerned. And if it was, an inch more than this, then it would be a major, it would classify it a little worse. There's situations where you can have a pipe that is fully submerged, or I should say it's full, where the pipe has dropped, the entire diameter of the pipe and had, been completely full of water. This is a 6-inch concrete pipe, and so really, an inch and a half of water is not, this could have been this way for decades. The chances are it has been, and so you can see the water flashing at the top as the camera comes through it. So that's what you're kind of looking for, is to know. So I don't really see, you see flashes where it opens up to air. See, so the I don't have any resistance, but we don't know how this is going to act during normal function as far as, solids and stuff. See it sit still. The problem here is the situation is kind of at one point someone could have lived in this house for decades and just never have caused a problem and don't even know it's there. You can see by the marks on the side of the pipe that this has been this way for a while. I mean, it's the flow line is right there. But I'm going to pause the video again. I'm going to go out and locate this is the top end or the beginning of the belly. It should be just outside the foundation. So we're going to just get one more pause and locate. Okay, so that is just outside the foundation, just outside the house. It's approximately 9 foot deep to the invert, which is the inside bottom of the pipe again. So, we should be popping back into the cast iron here. There we go. So with it sitting empty for so long, it could be a good idea to kind of clean out the cast iron. Right here on the top of the pipe, there should also be a clean out in the floor. You can see on the very top of the pipe here. So just as the pipe exits the house, there should be a cap in the floor. I'm actually going to double check that real quick. There it is. It's obvious with the cap sticking up, so there'll be another access point if needed. It seems to me that the cast iron is functioning. It's just really ugly. It's definitely functioning free and clear at the time of this inspection. We do have, like we just saw there, you have some buildup from the cast iron. You can see from my standoff and my camera pushing it along. So, running the water didn't actually push that stuff out very far. And so, doing a cleaning of this cast iron, I would do maybe a small jet, not anything with high pressure, just because you don't know the shape of cast iron. You can do it's like a deburr basically, and so it would scratch off all the high levels of rust and stuff off the inside of the pipe. But again, that's something that could also, it could clean it, but I could also do damage to that pipe. Different plumbers feel differently about it, but it would get rid of, at least a very light jet should get rid of some of the scale. a lot of this probably has to do with the fact that it's sat empty for a long time. So there was stuff sitting on the bottom. I mean, overall, the line looks pretty good structurally. And so I don't see any indications that this line has been cleaned recently. Basically pointing towards the fact that even with this new clean out, you can see we're out of the pipe now. Even with the clean out in the front and this new clean out, I don't see any indication that the line has been cleaned, which on my end would indicate that there has been some backups. And so, I mean, there's no wear marks on the clean out. There's no wear marks on the inside of the pipe. And so I can't say for sure that it's gonna function freely for a long time, but it doesn't seem to have had any recent issues that may have been, caused by that belly. So I'm going to pass it on to a plumber to give their kind of 2 cents as far as whether or not they would consider that belly extreme or not. It's kind of borderline. I don't see any obvious issues as far as backups are concerned at that point. But it's a kind of a borderline situation as to what somebody would want to do at this point. But now they know exactly where the spot is outside and how deep it is, and so if it is an option to get repaired, then you would know what the average cost would be. You could get some quotes, but to be completely honest, if I was doing this for somebody that was just living in a house, and I would tell them not to mess with it until it started causing problems. But that's not. I can't say that for somebody that hasn't, have nothing to go off of. If somebody had been living in the house for a long time, then they would know whether or not this has caused any issues in the past. But it doesn't seem to be holding any solids. But again, with the house being empty for so long, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been empty. So, again, like I preach to everyone, don't use wet wipes. Just use toilet paper and obviously the natural material that goes down there. And this probably didn't show any signs of issues. But that being said, it is flowing good at the time of inspection. That doesn't mean that it couldn't have issues in the near future, but it would be a lot better judge of that from a licensed plumber. So I'm going to end the inspection here and make my recommendations to the owner, and we will go from there. So that will end the inspection at 2595 Cornwall Drive.